Good morning, folks. It's me again. Before we start, I just want to say this weekend's been absolutely fantastic. Friday night on the old tube was a great stream featuring our very own Cloudy Milder, Metal Mickey, Rock Scout, and Mark C with a G. And it was absolutely amazing. I went on it for the I had to come off because it was really late at night. But it was absolutely fantastic, and you can hear the lads' views on music. Last night there was another one on, and which was absolutely brilliant as well. I didn't go to bed till 3 a.m. this morning, and I watched it to the conclusion. And I just want to give the channel a shout out. It's basically called Man Cave of Doom. And the featured guest was our very own John Bitbot Boom last night. Greeno, who we all know and loves on it, and a guy called George. I don't know his channel, and it's like one of these stream things, but it's really, really good last night. Very, very worth tuning in. But I just want to ask people, it's relatively new. It's been going for about, I think they've done 7 or 8 streams now. But please, if you're into a good discussion about heavy metal, please subscribe to the channel Man Cave of Doom. It's really, really good. I really enjoyed it, especially with John on last night. It's just fantastic. Anyway, folks, this is a What's Spinning video, and some of you may think a lot of these records will still be wrapped. Because the majority of a few of the CDs came in yesterday. I was waiting for them before I put this video up, and also a couple of vinyls. I haven't got, well, one of them I haven't got round to playing it yet. It was a recommendation. This video is going to challenge the senses, because it's probably going to take you around every single sort of discipline of heavy metal, every single genre of it. It goes from one extreme to the other, and I hope you enjoy it. If you are regular I just want to say also thanks to all my viewers and subscribers. I've been debugging this channel the last sort of week or so. There has been a few troubles, not my fault, with the tube light, but I've sorted it all out now. And you know, if I'm not replying to you, it's not my fault. I do reply, and after I reply, I hit the reply at the side, but for some reason they're not coming up, they're not going on, if you know what I mean. But I think they may have sorted it now, so I think that problem's sorted. But yeah, I just want to say a big thank you to all the subs and viewers. This is a What's Spinning video, and so here we better spin some songs. If you saw me, I think it was my last but one video, talked about this band, and I was on eBay the other night, and it cost me £2. And there was a song I could not remember, because the big hits was Every Day Hurts and My Oh My. The other one was Strange Little Girl, but this is like a best of, and it's got all their greatest like hits. But then he did about 4 albums. But if you ever see this band, it's definitely well worth getting. If you're into stuff like Foreigner, Supertramp, and you like mellow music to kick back to, this is certainly a do, for you. Because I only showed it the other day because I've been a fan since the 70s of this band, and nobody in the VC seems to hold it up. But it's a fantastic band. Check it out, and it's great. The second one is not new. It hasn't been shown yet, and it's one of these CDs. It was in my box. As I was saying, I've forgotten to show this CD, and Greg the Egg introduced me to them. Well, you got 4 CDs for the price of one, and that's Foghat original album series, and it only cost me a couple of quid, so I thought I'd better invest in it. The album I play a lot is this one, Foghat Live, and I think Greg did an album battle with this one, and it's just out of this world. It's amazing, and I don't know if you've heard of it before, but it shocked me. Foghat was sort of a band I've heard of, but I've never ever bought records off, if you know what I mean. And you get all these albums as well, and Wild Cherry, and that. They're just brilliant, just a brilliant box. And you know, it's one of these box sets they do, and if you can't afford to buy all the albums separate, you just get one of these. And second hand now, they go dirt cheap. I've got loads of them, and it's a really good series as well. I've got a few bands do it, and it's amazing. Anyway, the next one people shouldn't be a stranger to. This is probably one of the most famous rockumentaries ever made. It was issued in 1976. I've got the album, but I haven't got the CD, and this only cost a couple of quid. And it was basically Zeppelin did a famous concert at Madison Square Garden, New York, and they made like a rockumentary film around it. And there's some killer songs off this baby. And I've got it on that vinyl, original pressing, which I'm really proud of. And I've had it for years, probably since the early 80s. But I haven't got the CD. It was so cheap, I picked it up. And I absolutely love Zeppelin. That's the internal part of it. But you get a nice little booklet with it, telling you about the show. And it's absolutely amazing. It's a really thick booklet as well. And you know, it's definitely worth the £4 I pay for it. It's absolutely amazing. This is like in the halls of rock and roll history now. But if you haven't heard Zeppelin or haven't heard this, check it out. You won't be confused. And I think it's got the famous picture. I may be wrong. No, I was just thinking it may have Jimmy Page when he attacks the guitar with a violin bow. They usually put it in there with Dazed and Confused. No, they haven't got it. But it's absolutely killer. Amazing pickup. And I say for a double CD box, I paid a couple of quid for it, few quid. So it's second hand, like most of this stuff. But it's just so cheap. Now the next one is this album. Now I don't know. I think I may have heard it, but I may have owned it. I don't know. But this is the 2001 Poets and Madmen by Sabotage. This was their 11th album, and I believe they went on a hiatus after this for about 10 or 12 years. But I want to hear it for myself because it's got mixed reviews apparently. It was good, but it was a skeleton of the previous albums, if you know what I mean. You get a nice whacking great poster with it, which I'm not going to open. You get the sticker, which is really nice, looks like a custom record piece, and you get the CD. It's got really nice artwork on it as well, but you know, it's only like a couple of quid, weren't very expensive. It's probably second hand as well, I can't remember, but yeah, I invested in that. It was a nice little box, it was about 3 quid. But I'll have to make my own opinion up and do a future video on what I think of it. But yeah, it got some right. It was sort of like the reviewers, they liked it. But don't get me wrong, Sabotage don't make bad albums. But it was reviewed a bit lower than the previous stuff. If you know anything about it, stick it down in comments. But yeah, you can't beat Sabotage, and absolutely amazing band. Now the next band is why I'm wearing this t-shirt. A bit of Kiss for you. I've got this album. This is my favourite Kiss album on vinyl, but I didn't own it on CD. Greg the Egg did an album battle between these bands, and this is my favourite Kiss album, period. Absolutely amazing. So I won't talk about that too much. But this album is Lick It Up. This came out in 1985. And this was the album that when Greg did the battle, and I realised I hadn't got it. Again, it only cost me a couple of quid. It was very hedonistic Kiss album, because in the 80s, that period of time, let's face it, a lot of the metal rock was about sex. And yeah, it's not a bad album. It's not the best way I can describe it. It's not their best work, and it's not their worst. But it's about an 8 out of 10 for me. When Greg did his album battle, he got the score right in my mind, and that's the track listing at the back. And yeah, so tell me what you think of it. But if I got it right. Please feel free to correct me. Now, Mark C with a G, he was on his stream on a Saturday night, and he mentioned a band that he keeps mentioning, and I actually bought one of their CDs. This was the most expensive one of the lot, and I ordered it Friday night at 10:30 p.m. and it came Saturday afternoon at 3 p.m. 17 hours it took to deliver. I'm not even on Amazon Prime. That's amazing. And Mark keeps mentioning this band, old school Dutch death metal, and I'm going to give the first 3 albums a go. And this is Pestilences, and this is this record. I believe it's a live album. I may be wrong, please correct me, or it may be a studio album. I only got it yesterday. I haven't got round to opening it yet, but Mark held this up on the channel, and I thought I'd find out what the fuss was about. Metal Mickey talks about Pestilence a lot as well, and it's basically Dutch death metal. I've done some research, like old school Dutch death metal, and I like old school death metal, like Cancer, Bolt Thrower, that sort of era. So I should like this album, but always, willing to give something new a try. If you've got an opinion of it, answers in the comments below. Now, next lot's the vinyl. More death metal for you, and this is Swedish death metal, and Mark C with a G held this record up. I've got to be brutally honest, I really dig the cover. This band is now defunct as well. They only made 3 albums, and I believe this is the first, and that's a band called Seance. And I absolutely loved the cover, and it was a cheap album off eBay, and I thought I'd have it just for the cover. But apparently they only did a couple of albums, and I think they did 3 or 2. They sort of split up and went their separate ways. But that's the back end of it. And what I've heard, it actually sounds all right. Again, it's old school Swedish death metal. I want to check this out. This is just new stuff to me. I want to check out. But I think I'm going to like this album, and it looks amazing. But the next 2 albums are classics. And they're my favourite, one of my favourite thrash, well, it's probably my favourite thrash band of all time. And we're going to a bit of Nuclear Assault. Now, this was their second EP, and this album's a classic. And basically, if you didn't know, Dan Lyka, or Lilka, whatever how you want to pronounce it, was in Anthrax. Then he went in to form this band. And this is, as I say, my favourite thrash band. I'm a massive fan. I think I'll go with Sepultura also, probably. Maybe they're a bit better. To me personally, I like them a bit better than Sepultura because I'm a huge early Sept fan as well. But this album is the second EP, and it's amazing. If they said you only got one record to listen to, this will probably do it. It's got some cracking stuff on here, and the first 2 tracks, Game Over and Nightmare, the relationship between the guitars and the drums, you won't hear anything better. It was just out of this world. Now you may think, wow, it's got Game Over on, and that brings me to this album. This is a vinyl copy of Game Over, and this went into this, and this to me is probably my favourite thrash metal album of all time. Both these albums are classics, there's no taking it away from them, but I absolutely love the cover art. And with this lockdown lark, I went sort of hunting on eBay and Discogs, and I've been spending a lot more time hunting vinyl, and I got this at a really good price because they're not cheap now, and the condition is absolutely amazing. It was on under One Flag, and it was released in the States, I believe, under Combat Records, and Under One Flag was licensed to issue Combat Records in the UK. But if you ain't got this record in your collection, or the last one, I suggest you rectify it now. But this is probably my favourite thrash album, and definitely one of my favourite albums of all time. I've got it on a CD, and now I own it on vinyl, and it's just out of this world, killer album. And I've got 2 more coming as well, and I'll show them when I've got. Well, I'm lying. I've definitely got 1 more coming, but I'm still waiting to win one. I've got a couple of days on eBay. Got to wait till the auction finishes. But I'm going to do a Nuclear Assault collection video soon anyway, so you can see what I own. But yeah, to me, nuclear assault, just out this world. They're up there, sort of that 1,000 miles. They're just amazing to me. Anyway, folks, I hope you've enjoyed today's What's Spinning. Sorry about the phone call, and I'll see you next time. And thanks again for all my views and subs. Cheers.